folks, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be discussing today? Growing authoritarian drift in Dhaka. Now what should India's role be in upholding democracy and minority rights and trying to bring in pluralism or regional pluralism? This will be the topic that we will be discussing. In this, we will discuss topics such as the introduction as to what is the issue, why are we discussing this topic in the first place, what is the background between your India-Bangladesh relationship. We will also be seeing as to why now there is an authoritarian drift in Dhaka. We will also be seeing about the issues and challenges that India is facing now because of the new interim government in Bangladesh. What are your India-Bangladesh traditional relationship that we have been having and how is it being challenged now? All this we will be discussing in the course of the video. Now I mentioned a topic, I mentioned all the subtopics as to what we will be discussing. First and foremost, main thing we have to see is why is this topic relevant to UPSC? First and foremost, from a GS paper perspective of GS paper 2, we will see it from your bilateral relations, neighborhood relations, and also with respect to democracy, as in under the aspects of pluralism, minority rights, upholder of democracy, democratic nation. Understanding recently, if you see in the South Asian region, democracy is being challenged by authoritarianism. Understanding? Now from GS paper 3 perspective, this topic is important from your internal security of border management. How if we let alone the authoritarianism to continue, it might have a spillover effect and cause a serious and detrimental effect to India's sensitive northeastern states. So with respect to border management, and we will also be seeing with respect to regional challenges, stability. Now the same concept can also be important from your essay perspective. On the limelights of India's democracy is stronger when it strengthens democracy abroad. So the question theme on essay might be on democracy. It could also be with regarding your pluralism in South Asia. Understanding, is it a shared heritage or a vanishing ideal? Why are they speaking it as a vanishing ideal? Because of what is happening right now in your South Asian region. That is what this topic is about. Alright. Now, what exactly is happening right now? Why are we telling there is an authoritarian streak in Dhaka? First and foremost, see, we will be discussing it in small points as to why is there a rising authoritarianism in South Asia. Your Bangladesh as of now presently is under interim government headed by Muhammad Yunus, which was previously headed by your Sheikh Hasina government. Sheikh Hasina government was more towards pro-India and not so much on the side of Pakistan. I wouldn't use the words anti-Pakistan, but there was a good amount of a rift that could be seen from your Bangladesh and Pakistan when it was your Sheikh Hasina government. The same cannot be told in your present interim government that is headed by Muhammad Yunus, who is more towards trying to cozy up to China and at the same point of time try to build the relationships, that is thaw the relationship post 1971. We have made several videos in Legacy IAS Academy itself on how your Bangladesh relationships are right now with respect to high level visits from your Pakistan to Bangladesh. This is going on one side. Okay, fine. Now this issue, how should it affect us? See, first and foremost, now whatever is happening inside Bangladesh, it's fine. But what also is happening in Bangladesh is there is continuous streaks of minority violence taking place. Especially now when I tell minorities, the section that is getting affected is your Hindus, Christians, Buddhists. These people are getting affected very largely. The place where they are concentrated are constantly having a lot of torture, harassment, desecration of temples, religious places, and the press is silenced. The freedom of speech and expression is silenced. Then okay, fine. Now if the government is doing this, then where is the judiciary? Judiciary will somehow try to bring the government back to, like, let's say, on its senses, on its heels. Now here judiciary has become a place where it is almost like the government is trying to showcase its narratives through your judiciary. So all of this is leading to what? A rise of authoritarian streak in Dhaka, that is your Bangladesh. If one of our neighbor is like this, if our eastern neighbor is like this, our western neighbor, Pakistan, is very much prone to not adhering to historic ties. What do I mean by historic ties? For example, Karachi Agreement, which was signed between the two militaries with regarding to Jammu and Kashmir. Constant violation of historical ties are done by your Pakistan. Example is violation of your Karachi Agreement. Understanding? Now here, alongside this, one core question that we have to ask ourselves is India a silent observer or a regional democratic stabilizer? Looking at this, see, South Asia is in such a manner that the three, let's consider it one side, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. In our South Asian region, so much turmoil is there, so much people are trying to move away from democracy. Should India sit and watch, like, how does it concern me? Why do I care? Or should it try very hard in order to bring democracy, in order to make sure people's rights are respected, the freedom of speech is given, judiciary maintains its independence or let's say autonomy? Why should India do that? This becomes the question. Or should India do that? That becomes the question that we will be discussing in the course of the video. Alright? Now, if we see your India-Bangladesh history, first and foremost, India played a very, very crucial role in trying to help Bangladesh in 1971 Liberation War, where India's role was pivotal and crucial. India shares Bangladesh border. India-Bangladesh share a border of 4,096 kilometer, which is the largest in your South Asia. We also have good amount of cooperation sectors under your connectivity, trade, energy, counter-terrorism. We also have a shared historical as well as cultural perspective with respect to your Bengali heritage, also our shared liberation memory, right? So our bonding between India and Bangladesh dates long back. Understanding? When this is the case, what has happened to the issue we will be discussing in the course of the video. But before that, we have a small announcement from Legacy IAS Academy. If you're someone who wants to kickstart your UPSC journey, then look no further, because you found the right one-stop destination with Legacy IAS Academy. Why do I tell Legacy IAS Academy is a one-stop UPSC needs from your prelims to your interview? It provides you prelims mock test series, daily mains answer writing challenge, interview mock panels. Alongside that, you can have one-on-one mentorship. You can easily have a talk with your educators in whichever stage of examination you are in. Now, Legacy IAS Academy has a strict batch maintenance of 40 members per limit. Also, we offer our courses in both offline as well as online mode. For those of you who are working individuals and students, we do offer weekend batch courses. For any idea as to how the classes are, you can book a demo session online or offline. You can give a missed call to that number, or even you can check out Legacy IAS Academy website. We will be there to help you out in any stage of preparation. Now let's get back to the video. What is this authoritarian drift that is happening in Dhaka? Like we said, there is erosion of democracy. How there is erosion of democracy? Look at this. Voter suppression is happening. Selective disqualification of opposition leaders. All of these are almost like eyewash democracy or on paper democracy, where you are telling that yes, I am conducting elections. How are you conducting elections? Through voter suppression. You are selectively eliminating the opposition candidates based to suit on your needs. Also, minority representation, especially your Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, are very much under trouble. Violence has been carried out on them. Now, the communal violence, especially now let's say Hindus who are in minorities in Bangladesh, they are more represented in your Kuluna, Sylhet and Chittagong district. They have faced widespread violence, desecration of temples, at the same point of time property vandalism for these people, understanding, and at the same point of time your freedom of speech and expression is curtailed, your press is harassed, journalists are arrested. There is a good amount of judicial bias we see where your politicians are using it as a narrative or a tool, your judiciary, to give up their viewpoint. Why should India care? That is the bigger question. First and foremost, see, apart from the fact that yes, we want, because of our big brotherly nature that India has, that everyone should be good. We see we are of the foreign policy as well as internal policy of Vasudev Kutumbakam. The world is my home. Leaving this aside, understanding this instability, understanding in your Bangladesh can have a spillover effect to our northeastern states. They might even lead to cross-border terrorism, understanding. This will lead to illegal, let's say, this we had experienced in 1971 war also, illegal migration, huge trafficking of human beings, insurgency in the northeastern area. Also, this will pose as a huge security threat in our maritime, understanding, and this will weaken the Bay of Bengal security. And external influence of Pakistan and China ka presence has become very stronger in Bangladesh. Understanding, Bangladesh has been waiting for this moment, and now it is trying to have a good relationship with Bangladesh, or at least it is wanting to reset its ties after 1971, which will not be very well appreciated in India. What are the moral obligations? See, it is not mandatory for India to do anything for Bangladesh or how it goes ahead, but India does have a sense of moral obligation. Why? Because it is the largest democracy and it wants to defend pluralism, which means pluralism means what? Simple idea. People of different belief system, understanding, will come together, coexist mutually, live peacefully. Understanding? Here, when we are speaking in this South Asian region, it is more of regional plurality. Then civilizational value, this will be our point of your global diplomacy. Again, like I mentioned, Vasudev Kutumbakam. See, India also has this concept of Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. With everyone, we grow vision. Yes, and also we cannot afford to just stay silent. That would be a diplomatic catastrophe for us, because then we would lose our credibility as a partner, especially when we are part of your BIMSTEC nation, understanding, and also our Bay of Bengal region will become more prone to your external elements influence. So what could India possibly do in this situation? First and foremost, use the quiet diplomacy, that is, use bilateral agreements, and also affirm the commitment and also make your back channel diplomacy. Use its position in multilateral agreements such as your BIMSTEC, IORA, and all this place, and try to bring in an assurity for your minority rights, freedom of press, understanding. So these are some of the things that India can do. From your policy actions, it can use its economic leverage that it has with Bangladesh with respect to trade, energy, developmental partnerships, investment, infrastructural partnerships. It can also help support the freedom of press initiatives. At the same point of time, work with the multilateral forums, regional organizations, your SARC, BIMSTEC. What are other kind of proposals that we can shoot up so we can solve this issue in a more amicable manner? The first and foremost is, look at this, South Asia Minority Rights Watch, which will be overlooked by India. Which means under the leadership of India, it will be created. Because why India? India is one of the most diverse countries that you will see. And we are one of the largest democracy for the most populous people. We're the most populous country, most diverse country, and we are coexisting among our South Asian members who are all switching to authoritarianism, and we are still the sole and lone democratic principle followers, not just in paper or eyewash democracy, but we are trying to exhibit real democracy. Understanding? We can also condemn violations in the neighborhood from our parliamentary controls and resolutions. We can also give conditional support, that is, we will link aid infrastructure and base it based on your human rights benchmark, how the human rights violations are, etc. Again, like we said, because we have good amount of let's say trade, investment, infrastructure projects with our Bangladesh counterparts, we can use that to our leverage. So we can move towards a rights-based regional doctrine. How? Integrate human rights and democracy into our neighborhood first policy that India follows. Move from reactive to proactive foreign policy. It's a shift in diplomacy where we do not remain a mute, silent spectator. And also India as more of a conscience keeper or trying to provide that behavioral or moral nudge to our neighbors. Understanding? Now, we will see some of the things as to what are India-Bangladesh bilateral relations with each sectors. For example, under defense, we do exercise Samprati, which is a bilateral army exercise. We do exercise Bongasagar with respect to your bilateral naval exercise in our Bay of Bengal region. And corporate, which is a joint naval exercise with the security patrols. Come to your economic and commercial relations. With respect to South Asia, it is very big for India-Bangladesh relations, so much so that we have 12.9 billion bilateral trade in your 2023-24 fiscal year alone. If you see how our trade is, India's exports amount to your $11 billion with majority of export items being cotton, petroleum products, engineering goods, chemicals. And India's imports are around your 1.8 to 2 billion, which is about your apparels, textiles, jute goods, aerospace, and these are your imports from your Bangladesh. With respect to your connectivity projects, if you see, it is more of India-Bangladesh friendship project, that is high-speed diesel supply, cross-border rail projects with respect to Akura-Agartala link, Kaluna-Mongola port line. We also have Maitri Setu, which is a bridge linking with Tripura and Bangladesh. We also have Maitri Super Thermal Power Project. We have regional energy grid integration. So these are all some of the agreements that we have with regarding to energy and connectivity between India and Bangladesh, and what we are telling is use this to the leverage of India in order to integrate with human rights. So at least this is one of the ways that we can tackle, okay, how this situation of growing authoritarianism. Next is with respect to multilateral cooperation, in which areas are India and Bangladesh together participant, your SAARC, BIMSTEC, IORA nation, and more of these brings the regional stability for your Bay of Bengal region, and try to again use that in diplomacy and use more of a soft power diplomacy. So at the end, what is the situation and what can India do? First and foremost, provide a leadership, provide moral ground as to what is the need for democracy, especially for the people and not for the political parties. Democratic strengthening and also use and leverage the voice that India has, and this will mean for the test of leadership that India has to pass in order to be the voice or the leader of global south. What is a possible mains question that can come from this topic? Evaluate India's role in promoting minority rights and pluralism in its neighborhood as its part of foreign policy doctrine. Understanding? So the same answer what we discussed throughout the video will be a summation of this answer. Alright. So this is the end of the video. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.